It's a little bit different on the men's side, but in women's, generally for like the last at least 10 plus years, it's USA and Canada.
On the women, on the women's side, it is USA, Canada, and then everybody else, right? On the men's side, it's Canada. You can throw USA in there, and then after that, it's just like, Sweden or Finland, or this year we're seeing Slovakia.
But it's much more competitive on the men's side from a grand scheme of things than the women's, where usually Canada and US just dominate everybody, and then they swap wins against each other.
Welcome to another episode from the Check From Behind podcast. I'm your host, Zach, as always, joined by my co-host, Preston. Of course, we are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code THPN to get $200 of bonus bets. All right, so the Olympics single eliminations for the men's side of things are officially underway. The women's gold medal game is set between USA and Canada, who, by the way, the USA women are steamrolling every single opponent that they have come in contact with in that tournament. Whereas the men's side of things, I wouldn't say the preliminary was boring, but it was definitely
predictable.
It was very predictable.
Except for Slovakia. Slovakia was the one surprise.
You know what? I was surprised by that. And they won by a ridiculous three-way tie, whatever. And, we can get into that.
Well, the way they won the group was nutty.
It was. Yeah. And then, of course, obviously, we all expected USA and Canada to win their groups. Group A for Canada, Group C for the U.S. And then the qualifying rounds, again, same thing. All the teams we expected to win kind of, didn't dominate their opponents, but they won like we all expected. And then came the quarterfinals.
That was today.
That was today, which was very exciting.
Three overtime games. The first game was a blowout, but the other three, man, whoa, they were crazy.
Those
games.
were insane. And want to know what else is going to be just as insane? Watching USA and Canada later today, because we're recording this on Wednesday night. Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, USA against Canada for the women's side of things. I want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I've been not deep diving into the women's tournament, but when I've had time, I've watched it, and it's been really good hockey, and I've specifically watched a lot of the USA games, and to see how they have been just breaking Olympic records has been just mind-boggling. You're bringing a bunch of not only NCAA players, but also
it's a pretty young team.
It is, and a lot of PWHL players too. And obviously, they do have some vets like Hillary Knight, who is now Team USA's captain, who is setting records of herself for Olympic USA women. She's had a really good tournament. Alex Carpenter has, and we can't talk about the USA team without mentioning first the goaltending.
Yes.
Frankel, and I'm sorry, I forgot the other goaltender's name. I'll get to in a second here. I know it's very embarrassing. But those two have been literal brick walls. They've only allowed one goal combined.
That is the most insane thing to me, is they've only allowed one goal in all of the games they've played in the tournament. That is insane. I was shocked when they played Canada that they beat them 5-0. They dominated them.
Well, then you have Canadian fans saying, "Oh, we didn't have Marie Poulin."
Okay.
That was so fun.
She's a goalie, though.
And no, she's not.
I thought she was.
No, she's not.
Okay.
Okay,
but you still lost 5-0.
Yeah, you still did.
Okay, if you would have lost like 2-1 or something, okay, that could have made a difference. 5-0, you got dominated.
And you know what? They did dominate Canada, and on top of it, their goal differential of 31-1 is ridiculous. They have a record-breaking shutout streak of 320-something minutes and 23 seconds or 33 seconds. Insane. And they're not only keeping the puck out of the net, but, they are possessing the puck in the offensive zone. They are the second a team even crosses the red line. Not even get into their own zone, but cross the red line. They're on them. They're also on them even in the offensive zone on the forecheck. They're on pucks quicker than any other team. Mm-hmm. And you can tell their passes are crisp. Their chemistry just looks so good. Like they've been playing together for years. And obviously some of them are they have been to the Olympics on Team USA multiple times, but for a lot of these women, it is their first time on the Olympic stage, right? And so what USA is doing is so impressive. And do I expect the gold medal game to be closer? Absolutely, because you are playing for the gold medal, and I think it will be closer than 5-0. But at the same time, though, with the way that... Why am I getting a call? Fuck that call. The way that USA has been playing, would I be shocked if it is a blowout like their first matchup? Of course, but also, like I said, previously, I'm going to reiterate, it is the gold medal game, so I expect the game to be closer just because it is, playing for gold.
I don't know. I think with the way USA has dominated everybody, I don't think it will be close. I think USA will dominate most of the game. I think they'll win like 4-1.
And I don't know. I mean, I would
Because
be
they've
more of
dominated. They've dominated everybody they've played.
Well, of course, and I'm not sitting here saying that USA hasn't. And it just from my POV, would I love if they ended up winning 5-1 or 5-0 or 6-0, whatever? Absolutely. And do I think it has the possibility of happening? Again, absolutely. Because if you look at this roster up and down, it is the best women's roster on paper and statistically and on the ice, every metric possible. It is the best.
It might be the best women's Olympic team in Olympic hockey team in Olympic history.
It is. They're breaking records that haven't been broken since like 1924. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Were women even playing hockey in the Olympics in 1924?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
You have, hold on, I'm bringing up the stats here real quick for the women's side because I don't have it memorized. You have Harvey Caroline, who is a defender, mind you, 9 points leading all scoring in the Olympics. Bilka Hanna has 7 points. You have, obviously, they've played 6 games compared to some other teams who've only played 5, but the majority 6. Megan Keller has 7 points. Abby Murphy 7. Alex Carpenter 6. You have so many players even at least a point per game. And for the goaltending, let me bring up the goaltending here. Sorry, the IHF website kind of sucks.
Yes.
Fucking fix it. Franco Aaron has a 0.25 goals against average.
That's how dare you let a goal in?
Yeah, what the hell?
You suck.
Fucking 985 save percentage, which is insane.
That's not good enough.
No, it's not. We need a 1,000.
Yeah.
We really do need a 1,000.
Honestly, that's pretty low considering how dominant they've been. It's just because they haven't been getting a lot of shots.
No, their shot differential, I have it written down here. So their shot differential is 254 shots for to 95. I'm going to do math here real quick.
I mean, it's kind of insane, too, because I've seen it with a lot of goalies is like when they're not getting a lot of shots, they get cold and they end up letting some weaker shot goals in that they typically wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like some goalies aren't good when they go long stretches without any real scoring opportunities against them.
Well, they averaged 49 shots per game.
Yeah.
And they averaged 15.8, so round up to 16 shots against per game. Do you know how that is like historically good? And I just can't comprehend of how good they have been. And we can just sit here for hours and just reiterate how good they have been. But they're also setting records, right? Hillary Knight specifically, she's in the midst of her 5th Olympic appearance in this tournament. She has scored her 14th career Olympic goal, which ties Natalie Darwitz and Katie Kings for the most ever by an American woman. Also, her 32 points, career points at the Olympics are also tied with Jenny Potter for the most in USA women's history. So she's basically,
This is her last Olympics also, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But what she's done over the last 5 and bringing over the leadership into this team and the last team and et cetera has been crucial. And there's a reason why she's not only the captain here for USA, but also obviously she's a captain for a team in the PWHL. So she's been phenomenal. These women have been phenomenal, and they've been playing their hearts out, and they have been dominating this tournament. And anything less than a gold, listen, if the U.S. for some fucking reason ended up losing tomorrow, that's a disappointment in my opinion. With how they've been playing.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, the goal for both USA and Canada with 2 of the best hockey countries in the entire world are expected to bring home gold every single time. And USA, 7 out of the last 8 matchups have played Canada in some sort of a final, whether it's the World Junior Championships.
Well, this is the matchup we all thought. Like, it's a little bit different on the men's side, but in women's, generally for like the last at least 10 plus years, it's been USA and Canada.
On the women, on the women's side, it is USA, Canada, and then everybody else, right? On the men's side, it's Canada, you can throw USA in there, and then after that, it's just like, oh, Sweden or Finland, or this year we're seeing Slovakia.
But it's much more competitive on the men's side from a grand scheme of things than the women's, where usually Canada and U.S. just dominate everybody, and then they swap wins against each other.
Yes, and they're just end up meeting in the gold medal round or the championship in every single tournament that they play each other. Whereas the men's this year, we almost saw Czechia upset, and we almost saw Sweden end up coming back and beating U.S. too there in overtime. Obviously, both of those teams fell to USA and Canada in overtime. But the point being is, when you get USA and Canada on the women's side, is very competitive, right? Even though Canada lost 5-0, clean slate. It's a best of one series, I'll fucking say. I know it's a single game elimination here, but you forget about the rest of the tournament, right?
Yeah.
It is about right here, right now.
Well, I think that's what makes the Olympics great is, in the elimination round, it's all single game eliminations. So they're all game sevens. They're going to be going all out, leaving no regrets behind. Going to fight hard for every puck in the wall because you lose, you don't have a game tomorrow. It's not like a playoff series where it's best of 7. Like, this is winner takes all. It's going to be really intense. The games today didn't disappoint. I'm excited for the gold medal game tomorrow. Unfortunately, not going to be able to watch it.
Work?
Yeah, work.
That sucks.
And it's in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and I'm going to speak on the bracket a little bit, just recap it for the women's side. So in the quarterfinals, they didn't have a qualifying round. I think the bottom 2 teams in each group ended up missing the playoff round.
There was only 10 teams in the women's, right?
Yeah, there were 5 in each group, Group A and Group B. So USA beat Italy, Sweden beat Czechia 2-0. Canada beat Germany, and then Switzerland beat Finland. And then USA ended up beating Sweden. Canada ended up beating Switzerland. And now you have Sweden against Switzerland in the bronze medal game, and then obviously USA and Canada in the gold medal game. Now, I know you say you aren't going to be able to watch, but real quick before we move on to the men's side, I'm very excited for this game. I'm really amped up. It feels like how I feel for if USA and Canada end up meeting in the gold medal game.
This might be a hot take, but I think the best rivalry right now in all of hockey is the women's Canadian team versus the women's United States team.
Yes, I agree with that.
And it's not even just talking about this. The Olympics, just historically, for like the last however years, like those 2 teams have been the dominant teams in the world at their sport. And every time they play against each other, it's usually a crazy game.
Every time they play against each other, it's usually close.
And they legit do not like each other.
No, they don't, and deservedly so. They have built rivalries for fucking decades.
If they were allowed to hit in women's hockey, it would be a bloodbath.
I agree with that, and obviously, not junior. Double IHF rules are different. International rules are different. But the PWHL, you can fucking hit now, which is great.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just added that. I know the first year or 2 they weren't able to. It was just like not body check.
Yeah, I always didn't understand why they weren't allowed to hit.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I know I don't know how much of an effect it has on it, but like if a woman's pregnant, like does that affect if you take a blow to the stomach? Like
you're pregnant, you should be playing hockey.
That is also true, though. That is also true. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah,
that's also true. Now that I think about it, they probably don't. They're probably out for those 9 months. And
I would imagine so.
Leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm fucking dumb. Yeah, you're right. So, anything else you want to touch on here before we move on to the chaotic side that is the men's hockey?
No, I'm ready to dive in.
This episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $30 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for gambling problems. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. Must be the age of 21 years or older. Age and eligibility vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after assurance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos for details. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only. Auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional terms at youtube.com/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right. Quick timeout before we get back to the action. This episode is brought to you by W Energy. energy. Listen, hockey's fast, and whether you're breaking down plays, yelling shoot from the couch, or just getting in a workout, you've got to stay sharp. That's where Dubby comes in. Clean energy with zero sugar, no crash, no artificial flavors or dyes. Just 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving, about 2 cups of coffee's worth to keep you locked in and ready to go. Personally, I use Dubby before the gym, on the ice, and even when prepping content for the pod. If you need that extra spark, whether you're grinding through work, lifting, or lacing up the skates, Dubby's got you covered. Head over to dubby.gg and use code CFBPOD for 10% off your order. That's dubby.gg, code CFBPOD for 10% off your order. Fuel up, stay locked in, and let's get back to the episode. Let's fucking go. Okay, so let's get the boring game out of the way. Slovakia ended up manhandling Germany 6-2, and that was the game at like 6 a.m. I don't even know how much people.
I didn't even realize they were playing until like 9 o'clock. I checked and I was like, oh shit, they already finished their game.
Not gonna lie, I didn't realize there was a game at 6 o'clock in the morning until like last night. I was like, oh, Slovakia and Germany. Yeah, Slovakia has this.
Yeah.
They ended up winning. And I kind of expected it. Obviously, they ended up winning Group B in a crazy three-way tiebreaker between.
Yeah, I want to talk about that
Finland
a little
and
bit.
Sweden.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
they were playing Sweden in the last game of the group, and Sweden, in order to win their group, needed to win that game by 3 goals to win the group, to beat them on a tiebreaker for goals scored. So, in most games, you're down by 3 with like a couple minutes left in the game. The game's over. But they were pushing really hard. They ended up scoring a goal, and Sweden had to pull their goalie with like 2 minutes left in the game to try to get another goal to win by 3. They didn't end up scoring, and Slovakia wins the group by a tiebreaker.
And Slovakia celebrating like they won the game, and Sweden.
And they lost 5-3.
Right, like
and they were happy.
And for people that are confused by the tiebreaker, so if it hasn't already been explained to you or you don't know what's going on, okay, so this is what happened. So Finland, Sweden, and Slovakia all tied with a 2-0-0-1 record. But the initial tiebreaker is just goal differential, but head-to-head goal differential, right? So normally how it would go is you would see a tiebreaker between 2 teams, and whatever team won would just win that tiebreaker, right? However, between 3 teams, it's different. So Finland ended up dismantling Italy in the last game, and they had a plus 11 goal differential for the entire tournament. But what some people didn't know is that goal differential between Italy did not matter at all. It did not matter. The goal differential, I believe Slovakia was +1, Finland was even, and I think Sweden was -1 in the 3-way tie, which means Slovakia ended up edging out Sweden by +1, which is why they were pushing for the goal.
Yeah.
So that was craziness, and Slovakia actually ended up obviously moving on, and Slevkovsky is my guy on this team that has really stood out. Natchez has had a good tournament. I didn't know
Natchez isn't on that team.
Oh, he's on Czechia, my bad. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of Czechia, guys, my bad, except Slevkovsky. Slevkovsky right now is top 3 for MVP. Obviously, you can throw McDavid, Celebrini in there.
If I had to pick one guy right now, it would be Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit more because it's a Canadian team, but he put the team on his back today.
He did. And Slovakia, they kind of just, I don't know, dominated Germany, like kind of all expected. And
I think Germany I would say had a disappointing tournament. I think people were cautiously optimistic about them. You know, they have Leon Draisaitl, Mo Seider. They have some decent players, and they kind of they disappointed me, I'd say.
They disappointed me too, and maybe I was a little bit really high on them, but I did have them finishing about 4th or 5th in the tournament, and they ended up finishing a lot lower than what I expected to. And, maybe that's a little bit of me seeing the NHL talent, that it is very high talent, and then there's a huge drop-off after that. They have, like, Leon Draisaitl, Stützle, Mo Seider, and I know their goaltending wasn't the greatest with Philip Grubauer, who kind of had a disappointing tournament, but they weren't really all that impressive to me, and deservedly so. They ended up getting out in the quarterfinals, and their game against Slovakia today, Slovakia dominated for pretty much most of it. They had the edge in shots, 35-27, and I mean they just looked like the better team, and they got out to a 4-0 lead halfway through the second period. Dvorsky, by the way, for why do I keep mixing up these countries? Slovakia has been very good. He ended up having a goal today. He's had a very
In your
honorable
defense, that
tournament.
you used to be the same country.
What's that?
They did used to be the same country,
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia. Now they're two separate countries.
Maybe that's where it's all getting fucked up. I don't know. I don't know if that's a recent thing that they've
No,
done.
it's
okay.
not.
Okay. I'm probably too young for that. Okay. Just fuck the excuse I have. So, how about the more impressive game, I guess I would say, or the more entertaining games? Next up on the agenda, Finland and Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, let's get over to the Canada and Czechia one first, real quick, because I want to talk about that.
I would say that was the game of the day.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
That was a great game. Canada takes it in overtime 4-3, and this was kind of a back and forth game all game. You had, by the way, Macklin Celebrini's goal. What a pass by McDavid. What a shot by Celebrini. And when that happened, I was like, Canada might end up actually winning this game by a decent margin. And Czechia said, fuck you thought. You want to know, in the first period, Lucas Sedlak ends up getting them on the board 5 minutes later. And then about 5 minutes left in the first, David Pastrnak on the power play rips it home from the left circle on a one-timer. And then it was kind of a back-and-forth game there. Nathan McKinnon, a lone goal in the second period, ties it up. Then
that was a perfect shot. Like, I don't think Dostal had a chance on that one. He put it in a coin slot.
It was between three players, whether his own.
I don't even know how he got the shot through.
He grazed the inside pants in between the legs and went perfect corner.
Yeah.
That was
perfect.
No goaltender saved.
Yeah, it was a perfect. I don't even know if he saw the shot.
He probably didn't.
Because I don't even know how he got the traffic through. But Dostal is probably the reason why that game was as tight, because the second period Canada dominated them.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the third, Canada dominated them. They get an odd man rush. Nate just makes a great pass over, and they take the lead with 7 minutes left. And then Nick Suzuki had an incredible tip to tie the game in front, and a shot that was going way wide. I think it was by Harley.
Mm-hmm.
It was going way wide. I had no, yeah.
Oh, it's by Taves.
Devon Taves, yeah. And it was a great tip. I think the biggest story about this game, though, we haven't touched about, is Sidney Crosby leaves the game with an injury, which I've seen some debates online. People are saying, "Oh, well, we're never going to have this again. We're never going to have NHL players in the Olympics again." And I got into a little bit of argument with your brother about this because he's a big Penguins fan, and he was really upset that Crosby got hurt. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want your best player on your team to get hurt. You don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Right.
But what would be the difference if he got hurt today in an Olympic game, or if he got hurt the first game back after the break for the Penguins?
There's absolutely no difference.
Injuries happen.
It's part of sports. It's even part of, if you go take a jog around the block, you can fucking tear your Achilles.
Barkov tore his ACL in practice.
Yeah.
Like, shit happens.
It's just sports for you and being active.
So I know people are. I know Pens fans are very anxious right now to see the extent of the injury. As far as the last update we got from John Cooper is, he said he genuinely has no idea. He needs to get an MRI, and they need to see how bad the damage is.
I heard from John Cooper that this isn't his last game in the Olympics, though, too.
No. I think you misunderstood. I think you misread what he said. He said, I think in between periods, he said, "Don't let this be Sidney Crosby's last Olympic game."
Okay.
Because I don't think he had any idea. Like, he said after the game, he's like, he was like something like, "I'm not even going to bring out my poker face because I genuinely have no idea like what the extent of his injury is. If it's really bad or it's just a day-to-day thing."
From what it looked like it was maybe his lower back.
Yeah, it looked like it was a lower body injury. He got hit twice pretty hard. I don't think it was anything dirty.
No, I know the play that I think he got injured on was when Gudas ended up falling on top of him, and then you can tell he's in some discomfort, and then
He should have got off the ice.
Yeah, he should have right away, and then took a sandwich in the offensive zone. So
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay, and obviously John Cooper said don't let it be his last Olympic game, because if it is, then that is just heartbreaking, genuinely.
Well, then after that, I thought it was the Connor McDavid show. I know he didn't show up on the score sheet in the last couple of goals, but he was driving all the play. Dude, he's so scary when he's coming up with speed through the middle of the ice. Like, if I was a defenseman and I saw Connor McDavid skating at me full speed, I'd have a little panic attack, not going to lie.
You know, me too. I would be so scared. I would be skating backwards and then be so scared I would just fucking stop. I would be flat foot.
Yeah, well, that's what he does. Like, he's so fast. The thing with McDavid is he could pick up the speed so fast. Because he'll be completely standing still, and all of a sudden He's going at top
Yep.
speed. Like his 0 to 60 is so ridiculous.
I mean, he had 2 assists in this game. He clearly showed his impact, and he backs off the defenders so much in the offensive zone. It creates so much space without him needing to do anything.
And he's so
because he
smart
comes in with
about
so
it
much
because
speed.
then he knows, like, okay, I can go in and drive the net. They're giving me space to do that. But if they're giving me space, I can move the puck around and get other opportunities, and they're going to have to account for them because I have Nathan McKinnon. I
Yeah.
have Macklin Celebrini. Like, they can't cover all of us.
Dude, that line has been disgusting
it should
together.
be, yeah, it shouldn't be allowed.
Oh my God! First off, I want to ride Celebrini a little bit here. Okay, Macklin Celebrini, 19 years old. He's playing in the Olympics for the first time in front of the in the world, in front of the fucking world. He put up another 3-point game
Yep.
today. Come on, like he's just been so good, and genuinely, we'll get to more of our MVP picks later. If it wasn't for Connor McDavid being at damn near point per period pace, Celebrini right there would be my MVP.
Yeah, for sure. There was a funny quote, thing I was reading about Celebrini. He was talking to his, I guess he was talking to his dad or something. He's like, they didn't pick me to not play me. I'm gonna play, right? Like I get I'm a kid, but they're really not gonna have me on the team and then not dress me, right?
Yeah, I love that.
I was like, yeah, I get you're the kid, but dude, you're good. Like there's a reason you're here.
Yeah, and speaking of some more Celebrini talk, Nathan McKinnon called him the best player in the world right now. Swear to God. I swear to God.
I didn't hear that. Yeah, he's going to be good for a long time. I don't think they hyped him enough coming out of the draft.
No.
I think, I don't know, maybe it was just me. I got a little fatigued so much from them hyping up Connor Bedard so much in his draft class. And then everyone's like, oh, this is the Macklin Celebrini draft. And I thought he had a better rookie year than Bedard. He's having a better. I know Bedard's missing time with injury this year, but I think even if Bedard didn't get hurt, I think Celebrini would be having the better season. I think this kid's a generational talent.
He's a generational. And I think we've gone on record a couple times here saying that he was a generational talent. This tournament just proved us right.
Oh, he's a 19-year-old. He's the second youngest player in the Olympics. I believe Latvia had an 18-year-old player.
That defenseman should go top 10 overall in this year's draft.
But he's just been phenomenal because not only is he a 19-year-old on the Olympic team, and he's like, okay, before the tournament, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
But he's been on their first line. He's on power play 1.
And
they put him out there for all the big moments. He had an assist on the power I know the overtime goal was kind of all Mitch Marner, but he's the one that passed it to him.
Yeah, that's true. They get the primary assist.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since Canada got to Milan, he has been on the top units. This is not something where it's progressed throughout the tournament. He was on the top line from day one, top power play from day one, big moments from day one, and getting over to the overtime goal. I love the trolling. I fucking love the trolling online about Mitch Marner. First off, what a fucking beautiful backhand.
I saw this great fucking tweet from Roberto Luongo.
I saw it too.
Yeah, it was like Marner was born to wear a leaf on his chest. Dude, Luongo's such a good troll sometimes. He's been doing this for so long on Twitter, man.
I saw a tweet or whatever. That was probably my best tweet. The best tweet of the day. But I saw another tweet where somebody in overtime said something about, I thought Mitch Marner was supposed to show up in big situations.
Did you see the Leafs tweeted something about that too?
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. No. It was they tweeted something like Magic Mitch. They just used emojis though.
Oh, I love that.
They used the Canadian flag like a magic wand. And everyone was like, why the fuck are you tweeting about him?
I love it.
And all the Leafs fans are saying he never shows up at big moments. What did we just see?
Speaking of, I saw a tweet that says something about, I thought Mitch Marner doesn't show up in big moments. And then 5 minutes later, he was like, I take it back. Because that play, like you said, celebrating passes to him, but that was all Mitch Marner. He fended off a defender one-on-one.
He skated through 3 guys.
And then he ended up getting through and perfect backhand shot.
I mean, Dostal overplayed a little bit. But what are the 3 Czech players doing? They all just stood there and let him skate right by him. They don't even put a stick out to challenge him. It was a great backhand shot.
They didn't make it harder for him.
It was a tough shot. It was a tough, tight angle backhand shot. Dostal probably should have been out a little bit more in the crease to cut off that angle.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, still an incredible goal, but just a defensive lapse by Czechia.
And I will give Czechia some props here. They hung in there and they fought to overtime.
Well, they didn't even get a shot in overtime.
No, they didn't. And when they got puck possession, they were just either forced back out to the neutral zone or ended up eventually turning it over. And
Yeah.
that just goes to show you, like, in a 3-on-3 first off, I could say 10 million things about why in the single elimination game, why are we doing 3-on-3 in the fucking Olympics, but that's besides the point. But when you get to a 3-on-3 scenario against Canada, I don't think there's a single team that has more skill in the 3-on-3 right now.
Oh yeah, like their top end talent. Like I said this during our preview is Canada. I think Canada's biggest weakness is their defense, but their top end forward talent is so good they can just take over a game.
They can, and we saw it in the entire tournament, especially this game too. And plus, when they needed a big goal, Nick Suzuki delivered, and it wasn't that was.
That was the difference today. Their depth showed up.
It was
because after Crosby got hurt, I was like, well, their other guys are gonna need to like show up and play well.
I will say when Plot scored, I was excited. No offense, Canadian fans or whatever, Canada fans. I was rooting for the underdog.
I was sitting in the cafeteria at work watching the game on my phone, and when they scored, I was like, oh shit! And everyone looked at me, and they had no idea what I was talking about. It was a little embarrassing, but I was so dialed in, I didn't even care.
Dude, and so I worked from home, and I had all the games up, and when Czechia scored. Not Czechia. Yeah, it was Czechia. Sorry. When they scored, I'm so thankful I wasn't on a phone call because I was also thankful that I wasn't getting any calls because then I had to throw up my fucking notes. I can't watch the game, and thankful nobody answered their phone. But anyways, props to Czechia. They ended up having 6 guys on that Polak goal though. That's in the play, not by like changing lines, like in the defensive zone. And the refs missed it. And then the Czechia coach goes on record post-game presser blaming the refs for missed calls.
That's pretty ballsy.
That is.
I mean, maybe he didn't realize they had 6 guys on the ice when they scored, but
not to criticize the refs, a lot they were fucking dog shit in this entire tournament so far. And they were in the quarterfinals.
I mean, I watched most of the USA game. My meeting ended up getting canceled, so I was low-key kind of pissed. That was the only reason I went in the office today. But
that sucks.
Anyway, so I left work early so I could watch the rest of the game. I came over here literally as soon as the game finished. But I thought the refs were fine in that game.
The refs were okay in that game. I mean, they weren't nothing special. And I would rather have them let the boys play and like let them play.
Which game did this happen in? Was it the U.S. game where someone got high stick but they didn't call it? I think it was the Canada game.
Yeah, it was. Were they like bleeding from their lip?
Yeah, but they didn't call a penalty because they said he was following through on a pass.
It was the Canada game, yeah.
But it wasn't a natural motion. Like the guy was like trying to dig under it with his backhand and he went over the puck. Like I don't know how that's not a penalty.
I know obviously in the NHL where if you follow through on a shot, it's not a high stick, but you have to touch the puck. So it's not like if you fan on it or whatever.
But I don't think he touched the puck.
No, he didn't touch that, which makes it really weird.
Yeah.
That should have been a penalty in my opinion. Did you see in the Canada game that Dostal ended up getting knocked over, tapped, and he basically flopped? And he tried to sell. Obviously, refs didn't call.
He looked a little shaken up.
He did look. Maybe he was trying to sell it a little bit more, or maybe I'm just being a fucking dickhead and he was actually shaken up. I don't know.
I mean, they didn't show a replay of. I was watching on my phone, so it was a little hard to tell on a smaller screen. But it looked like he just went down hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just underplaying it a little bit. But either way, Canada moves on. Next up on the agenda, Finland against Switzerland. Switzerland ended up choking this game in the third period. Finland wins 3-2 in overtime. A very close game, though, towards the end of the game. Switzerland ended up going up 2-0. They ended up having a goal. It was about a minute or so apart there towards the later half of the first period. Then the third period and overtime was pretty much all Finland. You have goals from Aho, Heiskanen, and the game winner in Arturi Lehkonen there for Finland.
So the thing I want to highlight, too, with the 3 overtime games is I believe there's only 4 teams in the entire tournament that their whole team is NHL players. It's Canada, United States, Sweden, and I think Finland. I think Finland is all NHL players.
Finland is, yes it is. Finland is all NHL players.
And you could tell the difference in overtime because they were like, especially in the USA and Sweden game, they were playing like NHL 3-on-3.
They were.
Where they kept peeling back and being really patient with the play. Where Czechia, they were kind of going all out, and then they would get caught on odd man rushes
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over again. Like where Canada was playing that more patient game.
Yep, they were playing a lot slower and then take your opportunities.
Because
when they
overtime,
also-
3-on-3 overtime is just all about possession.
It is. It's all about possession and all about positioning too.
Mm-hmm.
The second you get caught down low, it's wraps. It's an odd man rush the other way, and that's where you see a lot of the goals happen.
And I thought that was the difference with Finland and Sweden too. Was like you saw that experience with the Finland team where they know how to play in that kind of situation.
Yeah, and we saw their resilience too in this game. I when they were up 2-0, sorry, when they were down 2-0,
I thought that was over. Yeah.
kind of same because
Yeah.
Finland has disappointed me for the entire tournament pretty much. And even though they had 2 wins in the preliminary round and they ended up getting past the qualification round, but they didn't look
I mean,
like.
one of them was against Italy.
Yeah. That's
No offense, the only player on Italy that was any good was their goalie.
Who is a stud? Who, by the way, is an NHL draft pick for those
Look
who
at
wonder.
looking like who drafted him?
Anaheim.
Looking like a steal.
Yeah. I don't know where he was drafted, but either way, though, looking.
I think he was a second-round pick or something like
He
that.
might have been.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think he was the first Italian
Like
player
what,
ever drafted.
2024, I think, or something.
I don't know, but he was like literally the only reason why Italy even had a chance in any of their games.
He had like a 930 or 940 save percentage.
Yeah.
It was crazy. This game wasn't as, I don't want to say it wasn't as entertaining as the other 2 overtime games, but it didn't feel like it had that playoff feel for a lot of it compared to the other 2 games. I mean, don't get me wrong, this game was excited in the third period and overtime because it got really close. I love the fact that Finland tied it up late and then ended up winning it in overtime, but also this overtime period, it felt like, I don't want to say it dragged down a little bit, but like you can tell Finland was more experienced with this stuff, and they eventually ended up finding the back of the net and ended up winning the game. So, I mean, props to Finland. They move on to the semis. They are playing for a gold medal. And, I mean, props to Switzerland, too. Played a really good game. They had a really good tournament in general as well. They didn't really have one guy that stood out from the rest, like a lot of these other teams that are similar to Switzerland, like Slovakia, etc. They've kind of had everybody coming in. I know they've had decent NHL players. Well, decent as I'm fucking talking about Nico Hischier right here. By the way, had an injury scare. He ended up taking a weird hit into the boards, but like Timo Meyer had a solid tournament.
Roman Josi, I thought was good.
He was good. Niederreiter actually wasn't that bad. So there were guys on this team.
They're big guys that needed to
contributed.
step up, stepped up. Like
Yeah.
those are like their big players.
Yeah,
Like Timo
and-
Meyer, like those guys, like those are their marquee NHL players and needed to have a good tournament.
And their goaltending the entire tournament wasn't bad. And in this game, too, I thought Leonardo Giannani, I hope I pronounced that last name right, I thought he was very solid in this game for them.
Yeah,
Obviously.
he had a good game against Finland today. Like,
did.
That loss wasn't on him.
No, and I think it just kind of, we saw the experience in Finland compared to Switzerland in this game.
Finland never really looked like they were panicked.
No, they didn't.
Like, I know they had to pull the goalie to tie the game late, but they looked like they were under control.
It didn't look like they were pressing at all in the game when they were down 2-0.
Yeah.
Like they were just sticking to their game. And I know the Finland coach, not the Finland coach, sorry, the Finland players. I don't know if you heard this report, but they wanted, holy fuck, I'm blanking on it. Panthers, Paul Maurice. There we go. They wanted Paul Maurice behind the bench instead of the current Finland coach because of whatever happened in Four Nations. But props to the Finland coach to keeping these players sticking to their game and not pressing and not taking too many chances or having hope placed too early in the game because it did lead to a W, right? So now you get to at least play for a medal, and obviously
Well, they're the defending gold medal champs. So
they are. They won in 2022. I
Yep.
believe that was in Beijing, or was Beijing 2018?
No, that was Beijing.
Okay.
Yeah, the one nobody watched.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched any game in that Olympics.
I don't
All the games
remember-
were at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all. Don't
Yeah.
have a memory. So props to Finland. They move on. Switzerland sucks, but, there's that. And last but not least, in my opinion, the best game of the day, mainly because I was rooting for USA. USA wins 2-1, overcoming so much adversity. I'm kidding, guys. But they ended up moving on here to the semifinals
That was a
against Sweden.
grindy game.
That had NHL playoff.
Yeah, that
feel.
felt like an NHL playoff game.
It did. You can tell both teams. It was not only was it I don't want to say it was fast paced, but it was exciting, right? It was a very low scoring game, but it was eventful. Teams were having good scoring chances. There were very minimal penalties. There were very minimal mistakes, and you can tell that both teams knew they wanted to make the other team make a mistake, not, try to create a mistake or make a mistake themselves. And then now the other team goes on and scores a goal because of an opportunity that they were given. So I thought it was a very well played for both the U.S. and Sweden here.
Yeah, I thought Sweden was going to be honestly, matchup wise, I thought Sweden was the toughest opponent for the United States simply because of their defense. I think outside of USA, Sweden had the strongest blue line group.
Mm-hmm.
Rasmus Dahlin had a great tournament. Erik Karlsson looked really good. Victor Hedman, I believe, got hurt.
Yeah, in warm-up, so he just sat on the bench the entire game.
That's rough.
Brutal.
Broberg was actually pretty solid. Ekman Larsson. And Markstrom actually played really well today, too.
He did play really well.
Yeah.
And they started the tournament with Gustafsson. He struggled during the tournament, so they went over to Markstrom, and Markstrom held the net down and held the crease down for them. And go ahead, sorry. Were you going to say something?
No, but I think I lost my train of thought.
No, you're fine.
Like I said, outside of the United States blue line, I thought Sweden had the most impressive blue line, and that was a defensive battle out there. There was a lot of physical battles in the corner, a lot of battles for puck possession, and then the United States kind of overpowered them, especially in overtime. I don't think Sweden had the puck for more than 20 seconds in overtime.
And
I don't think they had any shots in overtime.
Nope, they did not. And by the way, shout out to Charlie McAvoy, who probably played the most physical game of probably his hockey career tonight. Today.
Yeah, it was a physical game.
It was very physical.
Like that's what the guys like the Kachuk brothers make a big difference winning battles.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really. Lucas Raymond had a beautiful pass as a Benajad for that goal to tie the game. That was a
great pass. And a great shot,
It was like almost a no-look pass, too, because he wasn't even looking over that way in the last second. Just boom, perfect.
Put it on a platter for him.
Yeah.
Across the ice through the seam. And this is where the U.S. kind of, like you said, did overpower Sweden for the majority of the game. And Dylan Larkin got the U.S. on the board there, and a beautiful set play there from the left face-off circle. And then Larkin...
Well, so good. Sweden tried running it in the third period to tie the game.
Yeah,
didn't work.
They did. They went in their second intermission, like, all right, boys.
It was like, let's just steal that fucking play.
Yeah, let's do it. And it clearly didn't work out for them. But the Mika Zibanejad, with about a minute and a half left in the third period, ends up tying the game. And then overtime, what a fucking shot from Quinn Hughes. And if you know...
Quinn Hughes, the whole overtime was... outstanding. He had a good chance before, but Sweden played lockdown defense on him and made him peel off. And they were calling for him to change, and Quinn said no.
Yeah, they ended up. So Quinn Hughes entered the zone and was holding the puck for
Eriksson
20 seconds.
Ek that played his teammate played lockdown defense on and made him peel out.
He ended up, and then there was a play where Quinn Hughes was in there. They ended up forcing him to the forehand, the backhand, which was Eriksson Ek. Forced a backhand shot. Sweden went down, and on the rush, like you said, Quinn Hughes said, yeah, I'm waving the bench off. And then the ensuing possession, he grabbed the puck.
Because Eriksson Ek got off the ice.
Yup, he did. And guess what? He went down the right wing, kind of the center of the ice, curled back in towards the left and shot and got it.
Is there any defenseman more scary in the league with open space than Quinn Hughes?
No.
Dude, he's so good at finding open space.
This does include Cale Makar, by the way, guys.
Oh, it does. No, Cale Makar's an amazing defenseman, but
Quinn Hughes is just better.
Quinn Hughes' vision is ridiculous.
And his hockey IQ is off the charts.
Oh, yeah. He's so good on the blue line, working the blue line, walking up and down it, and creating space and forcing passing lanes.
The way that I saw him create space, but even before the goal, possession before, there was a play where he ended up going down the left wing in overtime. He ended up was one-on-one with the defender. You want to know what he did? He just curled back up, and the defender was 10 feet away, and all of a sudden he has space to do whatever he wants in the offensive zone.
Well, because they're kind of low-key scared of him.
Yeah.
Because you have to stay right on him, but he's so good at doing those quick turns, and he's so good at maneuvering that you don't play. If you have to play like Eriksson Ek and make him stay on his backhand.
Yeah.
And that was the difference in the game. Quinn Hughes, man, since he got to Minnesota, I don't know if he just refound his love for the game.
It definitely was that. I think,
but he's been a different player. He was still pretty good in Vancouver, but he looks like he's been playing like his old Norris form a couple years ago since he got to Minnesota.
And some other guys on this team, too. Shout out to Austin Matthews. He's had a really good tournament, same with Jack Hughes and Jack Eichel. This entire team has had a good tournament. There is not one guy in this team that I can look at and be like, outside of Kyle Connor, who I didn't think had a really good tournament.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing a lot either.
He ended up getting scratched the last two games, including this one against Sweden. His play in the Four Nations wasn't so good. He ended up getting a nod in the first couple games here, and then he ended up getting benched in a couple games, and they eventually
because he was on a
scratched
line
him.
with Dylan Larkin and Tage Thompson. They
Yeah.
didn't really play a lot in like their third game, which I was annoyed because I wanted to see Tage play.
Right. Tage has gotten more minutes the last couple
So
games.
is Larkin. I mean,
Yeah.
the line scored the first goal for USA today.
Yeah, they did on
Yeah.
a beautiful play. And Larkin has been really good. Tage has been really good. Like, again, like I said, there is not one guy who I can look at this and be like, he hasn't played good except Kyle Connor. Vincent Trocheck, JT Miller have played their roles well. Penalty killing roles. This is what we talked about. And I know.
Well, Trocheck's been like we need a face-off win. You're going out there to win the
Yeah,
face-off.
and-
And he did it in overtime. He got in
Right.
possession.
And this is what me and you talked about when they made the rosters and everybody's pissed. Now, was I pissed JT Miller was on the team a little bit? Yes.
I mean, I don't think Trocheck had any business being on that team. I still really don't think he does.
I think he has proved people wrong in the sense that he's
done
brought
what
on
he's
the
been
team for
asked
his
to.
role.
Yeah.
And you can bring in like Jason Robertson and Cole Caulfield and these other guys that can score, right? But are they going to score in a fourth line role, or you need a guy to go out there and win you a big face-off? Trocheck is that guy. Trocheck and Miller they're one of the many reasons on the why this team has been so good defensively and why their penalty kill has been so good. And speaking of penalty kill, the best penalty killer on the ice, goaltender, and Connor Hellebuyck this entire tournament has been fucking phenomenal. He was great in this game. He shut the fucking people up. Obviously, he has to do it in the playoffs too, but the Jets are not going
I
to make
think
it
Brock
this
Nelson's
year.
been awesome too.
Brock Nelson's had a
yeah.
really good tournament. He's had a really good tournament. And what this U.S. team has done has been great, and now they get to compete for a gold medal.
They got a stiff test against Slovakia next week. I think that they're a team
Did you
that.
say next week?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
In a couple days on Friday, I think it was like Friday, 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
something like that. You know, they're a young team that I think has gotten way farther than anybody thought they would.
Yep.
They're going against Team USA. I think they've accepted the challenge. Like, you know what? Why not us? So that's going to be a tough game, especially with Slovakia knowing they have a chance to go out and win a gold medal. But I think this Team USA team is just so deep, and I think these players have just done such a good job of buying into their roles on the team. Because that's not always a given with these teams full of superstars, where you have guys like some guys on your third line that are like on the number one line on the regular NHL team, and they're not even out there in critical situations.
Yeah.
Like Larkin and Tage were like, okay, you need a goal, and the Sabres or the Red Wings, they're going to be out there. And Team USA, they're like the third or fourth option.
Yeah, and
Or
like
probably even lower than that.
probably, and
Yeah.
even like Clayton Keller too.
Yeah,
right?
he hasn't played a lot, but he's done what he needed to in his time on the ice.
Just what they've been contribute in a way that helps the team
Mm-hmm.
win, right? Obviously, the end goal is to win the tournament and bring home gold for your country. And I know I touched on Hellebuyck a little bit. A 957 save percentage in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
He's been stellar. And I don't know how much you have to say on him, but I got to give him the flowers because in Four Nations, he was kind of mid. I mean, he was, he had a good championship run, and Bennington obviously played better. But we really saw the elite goaltender Connor Hellebuyck come out in this tournament so far. 3 goals against in, I believe it's 4 games played for himself. He has 68 saves, a goals against average of 0.98. He has been everything that you would ask for Team USA. And coming into the tournament, we knew the goaltending was the deepest for Team USA out of any team in the tournament. We knew their blue line was top notch. Obviously, like you mentioned, Sweden is right there with them, and obviously same with Team Canada. And
I think Team Canada's blue line is why I don't think they're going to win the gold medal.
That's something I can get behind. That is something I can get behind. If USA and Canada meet in the gold medal game like expected, I would put my money that the USA will end up getting that one extra goal or that one extra save.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Bennington at times be shaky in this tournament. We've seen Hellebuyck be sharp. We have seen this USA team physically impose their will on every single team they play. They have both Kachuk brothers. You have Jack Eichel throwing hits. McAvoy, Brock Faber threw a big hits in this tournament. And every single defenseman is playing big. And obviously you have Jacob Slavin, who has quietly had a really good tournament like he always does. So this USA team is deep, and I'm excited to see what the semifinals bring for us, and I'm really excited for it because if you guys think the qualifying round was electric, wait for the semifinals.
Well, the Olympics are just on another level to compete. I think a lot of people have forgotten since it's been so long since we've seen the players on the Olympic stage, NHL players on the Olympic stage. If you thought Four Nations face-off was crazy,
You're in for a
if
treat.
Canada and USA play in the gold medal game, that game's going to be insane.
There would be so much hype. By the way, we're live streaming the gold medal game no matter what. If it's Canada against USA,
I mean, if it's Slovakia and Finland, I don't know if I'm waking up for that.
I'll wake up for it. It's a gold medal.
I'm
Listen,
joking, yeah.
Slovakia is a great team, but USA and Canada, this is what we all prayed for. Since 2014, we have not seen anything.
Well, that's what that's what everybody wants to see.
I mean, the two best teams on the biggest stage, national stage or worldwide stage. Semifinals, are Friday for the men's side. We have Canada going up against Finland and USA going against Slovakia. We'll start with the Canadian game here. Predictions.
I think Canada will win that game. I think their top end talent's going to kind of overpower Finn. They're going to have to play very, very precise defensive game and be very, very disciplined. You can't give them you can't get a penalty. You cannot give Canada a power play. If
you end up in penalty trouble, mark it as a goal for Canada against Finland. There's no disrespect to Finland.
It's just their top end talent on that team. For their power play one, I'd be shocked if Sidney Crosby played on Friday. Celebrini, McDavid, McCarr, McKinnon, Sam Reinhart. They have so many incredible players on that first power play unit that you just have to pray that they don't score. You can't give them any space.
No, you can't. And this is where in a game for Finland, they'll miss Barkov tremendously.
Oh,
I mean, they had the entire tournament, but in a game like this,
Barkov will be a game changer.
This would be a game where if you have Barkov and
he's locked to McDavid. He's locked to McDavid. Yeah.
Yep. And he is out there for every big moment. He might honestly log 25 minutes as a forward in a game like this. And that's where it hurts to not have Barkov. Obviously, I wish that he would be playing because, he's a premier player in the league. But nevertheless, though, I do have Canada taking this game. And I do see a world where Canada goes up early and then it's just kind of like a 4-1 game.
I think the key, if Finland wants to upset them, is they're going to have to make Canada play a slow game. They're going to have to limit the free space, make all the play on the wall, don't give them any space in the middle, and just play super disciplined hockey.
Yep.
Make them gruel, make them work for it, and I think keep it like a 1-goal game.
Win any puck battles, win any big situational moments.
Don't give them high danger scoring chances. Don't let them get the puck in front of the net. If they want to shoot from outside, let them.
If you have to, fucking play. You have your two defensemen down low. You have your two wingers high slot at the circles, and then you have your center fucking patrolling the slot to make sure nothing gets in the middle. And if you're also Finland, whatever you can do not let them get speed up the ice, and do not let them get chances off the rush or in transition, because that's when you'll get in trouble outside of obviously getting into the sin bin in the penalty box. So that's my key there for Finland. Moving on to the next semifinal game. USA against Slovakia, and what I think will be the better game, because I think Slovakia in this game will obviously be the underdog, but they've been the underdog the entire tournament. They will give USA the fight. So, nevertheless, predictions.
I think Team USA will beat them. I think they're going to physically impose their will on Slovakia.
I like that. I think USA is going to bring this physical presence to this game where every time Slovakia enters the USA side of the ice, let's say they cross the red line, USA is looking to put a body on the puck right away. They've done it the entire tournament. They've been winning almost every single puck battle down low or on the boards and getting the puck out. We saw it in the game against Sweden where the second Sweden and US had a puck battle on the wall, it was almost always USA coming away with it. And that's what USA is going to try to do for Slovakia. If I'm Slovakia, what I'm doing, I know this is very cliche, pucks on that. You have to get a couple dirty goals against this USA team.
You have to out physical them, and Team USA was built to play this physical game. They have a lot of really good two-way power forward kind of players. Like both the Kachuk brothers, Austin Matthews can be physical. Jack Eichel is very powerful and hard to knock down. So they're gonna have to have an answer for that physicality from Team USA.
You're not going to beat USA with speed. You're not going to beat them with physicality. Now, can you try to go be physical with them? Absolutely. You can try to go match it, but I can promise you it's not going to end well for you against USA.
You have to know when to pick your battles.
Yes. So I think it's going to be closer, though. I do have USA winning this 4-2. I think Slovakia does get a couple goals here to keep it close. That fourth goal, I do believe, will be an empty netter goal to steal it. But we have seen in the Olympics, especially recently, teams pull their goalie down by one, and then they end up tying the game.
It's kind of. I don't even think in any of these games with the goalies got pulled. Like the other team didn't even attempted like a shot on the empty net.
I know in the Slovakia-Germany game, Slovakia had a couple empty netters, but
I didn't even know that because
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game.
they
But
pulled their goalie when they were down 4-2 and just 2 weak empty net goals, whatever like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And last but not least here on the agenda, just quickly, Olympic tournament MVP candidates at the moment.
does it have to be to like whoever wins the gold medal? Is that usually who gets the MVP? Like I'm not sure how we're doing that
I'm going to check that real quick.
because I don't know. Like if USA wins the gold, I don't know who I pick from that team to be the MVP. Maybe Quinn Hughes or Connor Hellebuck, one of those two.
I would go Hellebuck if U.S. hands up
Because
getting...
there hasn't really been a guy in USA that's kind of like running away with points. They've been getting like more of like a balanced team output.
So this is what the criteria is. So there's a couple things.
Is it voted on or is it just best points?
No, it's voted on. So 70% is media and 30% is IIHF voting split. So selection criteria: the MVP is chosen based on overall performance throughout the entire tournament, rather than a single championship game, as kind of.
Okay, so they don't have to win the gold medal.
Yeah, and evaluation includes total points, game-winning goals, and significant contributions to team success. So what that sounds like is it sounds like a player that plays in the gold medal game.
Well, yeah.
Unless there's a team that ends up getting bronze and he puts up like more points by 3 or 4.
I don't think they're going to give the MVP to a guy that plays in the bronze medal game.
So MVP do you want to do one MVP candidate from each team of the Final Four?
I wouldn't know who to pick from Slovakia.
I would go Slavkovsky.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now he is my guy. Or Marty Natchez, who's had a really good tournament. So,
Well, Marty Natchez is not on that team.
I'm fucking dumb. Sorry, guys. Jesus.
I mean, that'd be pretty wild if he won MVP, though.
That would be wild. Anyways, he won't win MVP.
I mean, I think Connor McDavid will win MVP of the tournament.
Yeah, Connor McDavid right now is my guy to win the tournament, whether he gets gold, silver, whatever the fuck happens.
Well, if Canada goes to the bronze medal game, he will not win MVP.
That's valid. But right now he has 11 points in 12 periods played. No, that's completely wrong. Sorry. He has 11 points in 6 games. I would have Celebrini second. Actually, Celebrini third, Hellebuck second. Hellebuck has played a phenomenal tournament. Phenomenal tournament.
I mean, we'll see what happens in these next couple of games where a player can kind of enter that conversation.
They can, and USA and Canada and really Sweden and Slovakia all have the players that go out and do so. Now, is there a team that here in Slovakia that I think has the least likely chance to have an MVP? Of course. Canada and US have the most likely chance because of just what their roster makeup is.
They have the best individual players left in the tournament.
They do, and I couldn't really pick a guy from Finland right now. I really couldn't. I couldn't tell you. I mean, Saros has had a really good tournament. But, I mean, outside of that, though, there hasn't been one guy. Maybe you do give it to, Aho or Rantanen, but I don't know. It's just, it's tough with a team like Finland because a lot of their games, too, have just either been a complete blowout or it's been really close.
Yeah.
Right? Except they ended up losing 5-1 in their opening game or whatever, I think.
Yes, to Slovakia, I believe.
Yes, they did. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
They took out all their anger on Italy.
Yes, and won by 10 or 11 goals.
They won 11-0.
Insane. That was insane. I remember I turned that game on. Halfway through the second, it was 6-0. I'm turning this shit off.
I saw the score, and then I saw the shot totals, and I was like, I felt pain for Italy. I was like, I feel like if I was on that team for Italy, I would just not even want to even look at the ice. I would just be sitting on the bench, can we just not play the rest of the game? We're getting embarrassed in the Olympics.
Yeah, can the refs just call?
We're in our home country. We're the home team. This is embarrassing.
I will give Italy credit; they were in a lot of their games, except that one.
Yeah. That was a tough one.
I turned on the game. So I was at my girlfriend's house, and I think this was Sunday the game was on. And Saturday or Sunday, something like that. And I really hope that this was just the commentator watching an 11-0 game unfold. Finland was on a power play. It was like 5-0 halfway through the second. This dude's sitting here like Heiskanen to Aho.
Oh, there's bored. Yeah,
Rantanen
it wasn't.
with the shot. It goes wide.
I mean, you've watched uncompetitive games. You played in uncompetitive games. Like it's not fun.
You say you don't want to be there.
No.
I've even I've done some live commentaries in the past where a team's getting blown out and I'm like, I just want to end the live stream.
Yeah, it's boring. It's really, really boring.
So real quick before we get off, I want to criticize Ray Ferraro for being fucking annoying.
Has he been on the coverage? I haven't heard him talk at all.
He was color commentating the USA game.
He was today?
Yeah. I didn't know that until after
I didn't
work.
hear I don't recall hearing his voice at all.
Am I mixing up players?
It was Eddie Olczyk and
Eddie Olczyk. Sorry, yeah, I mixed up.
Oh, you don't like
names.
Edzo? Come on.
No, okay, maybe I'm catching all the wrong games with the audio on because most of the time I'm watching them at work and the audio is muted so I can call people.
Edzo's awesome, man.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe he caught me on a rough day.
We need to get Jonesy back in between the glass, Edzo and Jonesy.
I love Jonesy. I love Jonesy.
I mean, I think Brian Boucher was the guy in between the glass. I think he's fine.
He is all right.
I don't know. I kind of got nostalgic for a little bit because during the intermission they were playing the old NHL NBC song, and that was like they had the NHL rights for like 10 years. So like a lot of like when I was growing up, like all the big games were on NBC.
Yeah.
And that kind of brought me back. It's like, damn, I kind of missed this.
Yeah. And you know what was great? Having TJ Oshie there, dude.
Oh, he was awful. What?
I love that.
No.
Okay, again, give me some slack. I listened to them for like 2 games.
Yeah, I thought TJ Oshie was,
He was
insufferable.
Great. I love his analysis there.
He's like, yeah, he's got to shoot the puck there. He did shoot the puck. Oh, my bad.
I love that.
I don't know. Just one last thing on the NBC thing. Like when I hear that song, like I hear that music playing, and then I'm like expecting to hear Doc Emmerich talk. I was like, damn.
Speaking of that, you want to know what I loaded up the other day?
Huh.
NHL 18. That
Yeah, they had the NBC package on there, dude. Doc Emmerich was awesome.
a goat.
Dude, he would like. I always loved watching in the Stanley Cup final, like when the game was about to end. He'd like start giving a little monologue about like what it takes to be a champion, like all the things they sacrifice, and then thinking, now the Kings are the Kings.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, chills.
And hearing the calls like the Martinez goal, and he was on the call for when the Capitals beat the Rangers beat the Capitals, and then I think he was on the call for when the Capitals ended up winning in overtime against the Penguins to move on in 2018.
I think his last Stanley Cup final was I want to say Montreal and Tampa Bay one.
2020. Did he retire after that?
Yeah, and then NBC also lost the TV contract.
Because what I remember,
It was either that or the year before.
I remember
No, I think it was Tampa and Dallas. I think that was his last one.
bubble.
Yeah.
I remember very, very young age. You went from Versus, and then NBC got the rights and signed that ginormous contract. And still seeing the highlights, even from NBC and Versus, is very nostalgic. And
I just want to see what his last game was.
Emmerich's?
Yeah, it's driving me crazy.
Bro's gonna lose sleep over
He
it
called
now.
NFL games. He called 7 NFL games.
Did he ever call a Super Bowl though?
No,
Oh.
it was just like early games.
I mean,
2020. Okay, so yeah, it was the bubble was his last call.
Okay.
Because after that, he was like, I'm old. COVID, like that was when the NHL did the COVID seasons. Like, I'm not messing with that.
Yeah. Damn, I really took that motherfucker for granted.
Yeah, he was. They don't make them like they don't make commentators like they used to be. Like no disrespect to these new guys. Some of them are really great, but like the old heads, like Emmerich and Rick Jeanneret, man, they were just different. They could paint a picture in your head. They can even in like a blowout game, they make it sound interesting.
You could be listening to them, without any visual, just audio, and you would exactly know what's going on the ice.
Yeah. Just like the way they emphasize things and they like raise their voices. Like I remember listening to the Sabres games like in the radio in the car and they'd be losing like 3-0 like in the third and the game's over. And Jenneret's like, oh, he gets it in front. Oh, what a save. Like, dude, the game's over. It's a blowout. you don't have to do this. He just is that good.
He loved it. I mean, he would go on record saying he just loved doing what he did, right? And being a commentator for the Sabres from 1972 and up until, what was it, like, I guess he kind of went in and out. I remember at one point, towards the end of his career, he only did home games and then turned to some home games. He was just getting older, right? And then obviously, rest in peace, he ended up passing away, which was a very emotional moment for all of us and
Yeah.
the NHL world too. And, Doc Emmerich has been, he's one of the greatest commentators of all time, for sure.
Yeah, for sure,
In all
for sure,
sports.
dude. Yeah, I miss him, man. I miss him calling the big games. When he was calling a big game back in the day, you knew it was a big deal.
Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the Buffalo Sabres
Yeah.
against the...
He never called the Sabres playoff
No, he
game.
did not. That was unfortunate.
Well, no, I think he did. I think he
What?
did like back for versus, but never on NBC.
No,
Sabres never played a playoff game on NBC.
because they fucking suck.
Yep.
You know what? They did play playoff games on Versus, though,
Yeah.
because their last playoff appearance
Was
and
on
they-
versus. Yeah.
It was, yep. And I think that was a year or two before they got the NBC rights, I think.
Yep. They didn't play one playoff game during the whole NBC TV
They
package
had
for
8 to
10
9
years.
10 years. Never once.
What a joke.
Bring back Versus. Let's go.
No.
I remember, like, when I was a kid, I was never in the loop of this stuff. So one day when I went to go Versus to see if there were any NHL games on, it was just gone from cable.
When I was a kid, I didn't even know what channel the games were on. My dad would just put them on. I was like, "How did you do that?" He's like, "It's on this channel." I was like, "I'm not gonna remember that."
Yeah.
The only channels I knew were like Disney Channel and Nick.
As a kid, I memerized like NFL Network, MLB Network, NHL Network, and then like Versus. And
When I got a little bit older, but this was when I was like 8 years old, and I was like, "Can you put the Sabres game on?" I don't know how to.
I used to mix up the Senators and Blackhawks logo when I was younger.
I never had that issue.
Okay, well, thankfully, I don't know.
Well,
You didn't
and,
have that issue.
yeah, and Martin H just does play for Slovakia, right?
He does?
No.
No, he does.
Jesus
I
Christ,
messed up
dude.
Czechia and Slovakia like 20 fucking times today.
Czechoslovakia broke up a while ago.
Way before I was born, right?
They have a pretty nasty hockey team though. If they were still together, as a country.
They'd be
though.
right now in this. They would have beat Canada today.
They
Not
would have,
even
yeah, they would have had a pretty loaded team. Yeah.
They would have been loaded. That's going to end it for today's episode. If you guys enjoy all of our content, head over down to the description below. Check us out on all of our social media platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple. New episodes every single Sunday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you guys in our next episode.